Bitcoin is up over $57,000 as of the recording of this video. Reached above that point a little more than 45 minutes ago. CleanSpark and Mara and the other miners are taking off today. It is a ridiculous day, and it all ties back to the ETFs. This is the power of the ETFs on full display today. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Trade Cave. Let's have a look-see here. As you can see on the 15-minute chart right now, I'm actually going to back it out to the 1 day for Bitcoin. We had an insane day. This turned out to be a bull flag. I fully thought that this was going to come back to the center of this channel and then take off. It did not. It went right into my supply zone up here. Right up into the supply zone here in this area. And it is looking like it may not want to stay up there for a super long time. We'll see. Every time I think Bitcoin's going to pull back, it shoots off harder. So that's every time I get a little bearish, it gets way, way bullish. That's okay though. I'm happy. I've made money off of it and I'm very excited about it. Hopefully all of you also made money off of this move. Let me bring on my SMAs and stuff. You can see here, yeah, we're way away from the 5-day moving average. The 5-day moving average is down at 52. The RSI is severely overbought on the daily. It's at 86. It was previously at 93, so there is a little bit of RSI divergence at play here. In fact, let me bring it up on the chart here. I don't think it's actually showing the RSI divergence. It is showing divergence. Huh, interesting. It was here. It's not showing it there, but there is some RSI divergence here from the beginning of, or mid-month to today. We got a higher price, a lower RSI. So if we break down back beneath, honestly, this yellow line here, we're probably going to see a larger retracement if that occurs. Of course, that has to occur first in order to see that RSI divergence play out. It would have been similar to, let me see, back here we got it, and yeah, nothing. It never broke. See, again, it would have had to fall beneath this yellow line. It never fell beneath the yellow line, so the divergence never played out. And that is one way that it happens. Sometimes it never plays out, sometimes it does. When it does, it's quite dramatic. When it doesn't, don't bet against it until it does. Anyways, we are outside of this upward channel here, even on the weekly here. We are creating new highs, new 52-week highs. We are gunning for the top here at 68,000 in that area here, and we might reach it in a matter of days. What was it? That's October. The beginning of the month, we were at 42,000. We just crossed. We touched 57,000 just a few minutes ago, and then just a few weeks ago we were at 42,000. So imagine these moves are insane right now. It's beautiful though. What's happening? You can see here on the weekly, the last time we had a bear divergence that appeared and showed up on this RSI, we did get a bit of a pullback. Wasn't too dramatic, just came back to where it was. So I think in this case, if this bearish divergence that we're currently looking at over here plays out, the lowest we're probably going to see that take us is in around the 42,000. Just erase these three big major candles there. And that's all that's going on with Bitcoin. We are still waiting to see the Genesis sales of GBTC. We saw insane inflows. So this is what happened to crypto today. Here's what happened to crypto today. Thank you, Cointelegraph, telling me the headlines I need to see. So it was the inflows. Bitcoin hits 2-year high as crypto market cap blows past $2 trillion, so we're over $2 trillion. But what caused this to happen was these huge spot Bitcoin ETF inflows that were coming in. Everyone's talking about these today. Where was it exactly? Let me see. There's the one up here I've got. Is it this one? The flows for, yeah, there we go, BlackRock. So BlackRock, their IBIT had the single largest day of inflows today. It was 1.1 billion in trade volume just for IBIT from BlackRock just today. And that alone is driving this huge, not just the BlackRock, but all the ETFs combined are driving this huge run up. And there is theory that the Genesis sales might actually not have any effect on Bitcoin price because the amount that they're selling is being bought up and then some by the other ETFs that are out there. And so that's something to watch out for. That whole idea that it could erase $13,000 worth of value from Bitcoin that I was talking about just yesterday, that might be invalidated just by the volume of the other ETFs swallowing up all of that, just gobbling up all of that volume. and just staying maybe stagnant for a couple of days like we saw here. I mean, maybe this was it right in here. I mean, when was it? Just, well, it wouldn't have been in there because they weren't approved until just the other week. It was like February 16th, so never mind. That can't happen. But I mean, maybe they sold it all in this little candle right here right after they got approval. I don't know. We won't know until we know. Currently, I don't know. But I mean, it could be something that looks more like this on the chart versus that sale back here on January 11th. To the 22nd when we saw that big drop of 10,000. I mean, we might see something similar more like this, where we get a few days of flat days where the other ETFs are eating up that volume being put into the market by Genesis and their sales. So today, this was absolutely the ETFs showing their power again and just showing how much volume is behind them. And this is very exciting considering that I'm in the miners, as most of you probably are as well. And those are leveraged plays of Bitcoin. So as you can see, Bitcoin was up 3.24%, 3.24% today, but Marathon Digital, that was actually up 21.6% today. And that's after it came back down a little bit. This is a 30-minute chart. It went as high as 29.85 today before coming in settling down here at 29.19 at the end of the day. That is nuts. Look at these candles. They're just massive, just blew away any bearish sentiment in this chart. It is gone. So that's pretty exciting to see. Like, look at that. There's a massive candle. We're almost going straight for this high again. Like this was all just liquidity build and then boom, taking off. I do still want to see it come back down to that 19 just for like a day or two. I mean, that's pretty selfish of me, but I want to see it happen. And maybe it will, but maybe not. I mean, we're not even oversold on the RSI for the day. We're not getting lows on the VIX fix. If I look at my SMAs, yeah, the 5-day SMA is down at 24.77, and even the 50 is above, $20 now, and it's been like that for like almost 2 weeks now. So it might not happen. And if it does get back down there, that'd be a pretty traumatic day. That I think that would require like a big flush in the market for that to even happen at this point. So maybe I'm just being hopeful for no reason. And maybe this 15-day, this yellow line will be our bouncing point, our line of support going up from now on, much like it was back here once we crossed over it in November 2023 and we just kind of followed it, touched it, followed it, touched it, followed it until we eventually broke beneath it. It might just be us bouncing off that from now on going forward. But also, oh, yeah, wow. So I just saw this in the chart right now. Inverse head and shoulder. Got shoulder, head, shoulder. Neckline is going to be somewhere about right here. Right there. And about right there. Neckline's about right there. We cross over this line, that's going to be an inverse head and shoulder. That's pretty big, actually. That's a pretty big inverse head and shoulder. That plays out. Let's see, where was the last time we saw one of those happen? Honestly, it was back here, right here. Let me go. Shoulder, head, and shoulder neckline was about right there-ish. As soon as we got above that, we went pretty high up, actually, came back down, and then went high up again. That's a pretty big inverse head and shoulder I'm looking at over here on this side of the chart right now. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but that's something to be aware of, that it is in there, and that is a very bullish looking one too. So keep your eye on that. That could be pretty exciting if this plays out. It breaks above this, we might be seeing $40 pretty soon, which honestly, if we see a new high in Bitcoin, a new all-time high, or if it gets to the previous all-time high, I mean, $40. I mean, last time Bitcoin was at that price, of $68,000, which we are closing in on. Marathon Digital was back here at $83. So we've got a lot of room to move up here with Bitcoin going up in price. So, I mean, 40, I think, is just the beginning, to be honest, if we are really going to take off. CleanSpark was the winner of the day. At one point, it was 27% up on the day. It was amazing to see this thing run. I'll tell you right now, as I mentioned in my shorts, those insurance puts I bought for insurance, those aged like milk, and I sold them for about a 30% loss immediately this morning and just watched the rest of my account run. That part was a bit sad, but the rest of it was so exciting that it didn't even matter that I lost money on those puts. That shows me trying to hedge my bets. I ended up losing money trying to hedge. Oh well, it happens. Nothing to be concerned about. Again, like we broke right through this resistance like it wasn't even there. It came all the way up here. This green line here, this is a new pivot point. We stay up above this level, above the $20 level, we're likely to go higher. If we break back beneath it, we're probably coming back down and erasing this big blue candle here back down to this upward trend line at the $16 range. And you better believe if price comes back down to that $16 range, I'll be picking up some more clean spark, probably some options as well. And as always, this is not financial advice nor a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. But that is what I am looking at and what I am thinking when I look at this chart. These are taken off amazingly. We're not even to the halving yet. I don't even know what to make of some of this sometimes. It's just amazing to be here for the ride. I hope everyone else is having just as much fun and getting as much excitement from this as I am. Um, it's quite amazing. Now let's take a look at some charts I have on my list here for trying to find when Bitcoin is topping out, which also should indicate about the same time that the miners are going to be topping out. This is look into Bitcoin. And if you go into the charts over here, the charts page, and on the left under market cycles, you can find the Puell multiple. I like this one for finding the highs before they get marked. So when we start approaching this red shaded area, that's when I'm going to start considering taking some of my risk off the table and making some sales. And the reason is that usually when this Puell multiple gets into this shaded area, or in the case of 2021, just touches the bottom of it, that's usually the top. The top either is in or is very, very close. You can see here though that it's been decreasing every cycle, right? You see the tops are getting lower and lower and lower. So this cycle, we might not quite come close to this red box. We might just be a little bit below it. Like you notice we went way above it back in 2011. And then in 2013, we barely got above it. And then in 2013, we didn't quite get above it. In 2018, we only came up to about the midpoint on it. And in 2021, we came up just to the bottom of it. So in this cycle, we might see it more like here, like what it looked like here in 2019, where we were like almost to it, but not quite. So I'm looking for this to get into this range right about where my cursor is there on the right this time around before I'm going to start thinking maybe we're reaching top here. The other one I like to look at is under market cycle. That's going to be the pi cycle top indicator. This one is when you see these two lines invert. That's when you usually get a top, right? So you got like this little yellow line, and at least I think that's yellow. Goes above, I don't know what color that is, it's too thin, I can't tell. It goes above so when the 111 DMA goes above the 350 DMA X2 line. So basically when this line that's down here below the price right now goes up and crosses above the line up here above the price, when that happens, that indicates that a top is in. And you can see that all the way back here. Every time there's a little dashed line right there. I wonder if I can make this a little bit bigger so you can see it a little nicer. Not particularly, no. Oh well, it's a little bit in there. But you see that dashed line in there every time that yellow line makes a cross up. That is usually the top. So I am watching this pretty closely, and when these lines get real close and look like they're about to intersect, like back here or right here when they start getting really close, or again right here when they got really, really close, when that happens, you better believe I'll be selling no matter what the price is. That has been very good at calling the top on Bitcoin. And when the top of Bitcoin is in, the top of the miners are also in as they follow Bitcoin. So that's just something to keep on your radar. Look into Bitcoin. I will bring these charts to you as we get closer and closer to the halving and as we get past the halving and they start to become much more interesting and much more important to keep eyes on frequently in order to understand what's going on under the hood of Bitcoin. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you had a fantastic day. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.